Shalom, shalom, Kahalal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great Muslim were well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on four corners of the earth, pushing the word in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in truth and in sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin. Once again, coming out with you with another lesson. This one is going to be a little quick. This is, regarding the subject of just being a part of the truth and not giving up, in the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now there's a spirit going around. There's a lot of guys really willing to give up on the Lord. And, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem HaKadosh Barakatah. Salakia. Brother just walked in. But yeah, man, so, but we were commanded to go out and teach, and we were commanded to strive into the truth unto death and not to give up. The point of carrying on in the truth is to reap salvation, and there's no way you're going to reap salvation by giving up on the Lord or by putting up the plow. When you read Proverbs 6 chapter, it tells you that we're supposed to learn from the ants. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, meaning we're supposed to work. When you look at ants, all ants' lives consist of is working and securing nourishment for the colony and for the queen. And that's exactly what the elect is supposed to do. The elect is supposed to provide and to work and provide nourishment for the elect. But without further ado, this is Isaiah, the 6th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 8th verse. It says, "Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me." So this is Isaiah basically volunteering to be sent from the Lord to speak unto Israel. It says, "And he said, Go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy." So this is a rendition of the Lord blocking people from the truth. When your heart is fat, or it's over calloused, meaning your mind's over calloused, you can't recognize spiritual things. It says, "And make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, so that way they can't hear or see." It says, "Lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed." Now, reason being, now we all know that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai doesn't want the whole nation of Israel to repent. This is only for the elect. And some of these guys really don't deserve the truth, because if they had the truth, they would do what a lot of these dudes are doing now, which is giving up, not sharing the talent, multiplying the talents, not keeping the law, statutes, commandments, perverting doctrine. Verse 11 says, "Then said I, Lord, how long?" And he answered. Now he's asking the Lord how long he's supposed to be doing this, right? And this is the same concept about us, with us asking the Lord, how long shall we prophesy, right? It says, "And he answered, Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate." So he's telling Isaiah to prophesy until this place is destroyed. Now this is in the Assyrian Empire, and you can equate this to now modern day Babylon, which is now modern day Assyria. This is the Neo-Babylon, so to speak. So how long are we supposed to be out on the highways and prophesying and doing studio shows and being prophets of the Lord until this place is utterly destroyed? But why do we have to keep going until this place is destroyed? Because part of the contract, so to speak, that we signed with the Lord, part of the vow, is that we endure unto the end. And this is the end, man, until the land be utterly desolate. And this is, in America, Babylon, man, So we're supposed to be prophesying until this place is destroyed. And once this place is destroyed, guess what comes next? Our deliverance. So you got so-called Elder Quanath giving up, throwing in the towel. But then you got other guys that are going to follow suit right behind him in that same spirit. And these guys are examples of Luke 9:62. They're working a plow, and then guess what though? They're looking back, and they actually miss what's going on in the world, when really there's nothing there for the world for you. Once the Lord gives you the truth and gives you the Harakak Wadash, the world, you're dead to the world and the world is dead to you, This is Luke 9:62. It says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Like I said earlier, the whole premise of doing the work of the Lord is to reap salvation, right? To repent and reap salvation. And if you're looking back into the world, which is increasingly wicked, and full of iniquity and darkness, how are you gonna be fit for the kingdom of heaven? If you miss the world, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't go together. That's like water and oil. And there's countless examples. One example is Lot's wife. Lot's wife looked back, and the Lord turned her into a pillar of salt because she missed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, man. That's the same thing with you dudes. You dudes missed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah here in America, and the Lord is going to destroy you for not taking the word seriously, man. You guys get a little affliction and you want to give up. Oh, you tired of being broke. You tired of struggling to make money. You tired of the world looking at you like offscoring. When the scriptures prophesied that we would be the offscoring of things unto this day. So you're willing to only do the work of the Lord when it benefits you, or when it benefits you directly. When you're not going through any affliction, and that's wrong because the scriptures tell you. The servant is not greater than his master. And who is our master? Yahushua. And if Yahushua went through all types of hell, guess what? We have to go through all types of hell. That's just the way it trickles down, This is Proverbs 24:10. It says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So the real reason why these guys are giving up, because they're tired. They don't want to do it anymore, Like, the guy said, he said he's tired of going back and forth and arguing with people because they're all fools. But the scriptures tell you we're supposed to debate thy cause with thy neighbor. We're supposed to defend the truth. So if you're tired of defending the truth, that means you're tired of working. But we were put here to work, This is Luke chapter 19, and I'm going to start at the 11th verse. It says, and as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the Most High, Salakia, should immediately appear. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. Which this certain nobleman is Yahushua. It says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. Now, when you look at this word occupy here,
Strong's G 4231. Pragmatuomai. Pragmatuomai.
it says to be occupied in anything, to carry on a business, to carry on the business of a banker or a trader, right? So we're supposed to be multiplying the things that Yahushua gave us. He gave us the Harak HaKodash. He gave us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We're supposed to be multiplying these things. And how do you multiply something? You either trade it, you have a barter system, or you can buy and trade with money, And also, the first definition here says to be occupied in anything. The word occupy means to stay there on, right? Now, let me go here really quick. Let's see, is that Sirach? This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So if you give your mind to the Lord, you're supposed to be occupied in prophecies. I mean, you're supposed to stay there on the scriptures. And if you stay on the scriptures, guess what? You will automatically execute what the scriptures have in detail for you to be doing, And this is why Apostle Har always says that these guys, they don't study, they don't read, they're not in the book, Because if they were in the book, they would do the things required, And man, it says being occupied in prophecies, right? So that means that you will be wherever the prophecies are, you will be there, you know. Verse 2, it says, he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. See? So wherever the prophecies are, you're supposed to have a ready mind to recognize these things. And a lot of times, these guys are afraid of the prophecies. You know, this is one of the reasons why these guys give up, you know, because they see these things happening that the Lord said was going to happen, and they don't have the mental capacity to really deal with it, you know. So instead of you know, just admitting to the Lord, they're afraid, you know, and praying to Yahweh Shem Yahshua for a spirit of courage, you know, for a spirit of strength, you know, they rather give up, you know, because at the end of the day they're really feeding their flesh, you know, and they're not feeding their spirits, and they're weak-minded. Going back to Proverbs 24:10, you know, these guys don't want to go through this affliction. They don't want to go through the turmoil, the chaos that's about to happen in this world. That's why they never speak on it. That's why you don't hear guys talking about the charagma. That's why you don't hear guys talking about pestilence and famine, you know, and the sword and death and the thermonuclear fire, man. You know, the great plagues that are to come upon the world in these latter days. They don't speak about these things because they're afraid. You know, this is back in Luke. Salakia. It's back in Luke chapter 19. Verse 14, it says, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. Now, this is representation of 2/3 of Israel, man. You know, it says, and it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called upon him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Yeah, so let's see your work. Let's see how much work you've put in, you know. Have you done what he told you to do? It says, then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So because he took the talents that the Lord gave him, he produced, you know, he's receiving a reward, you know, which is that authority over the 10 cities. Now that authority over the 10 cities represents, you know, the elect having authority over the world, man, you know. So again, the reason why we are doing this week in and week out is so that we can reap a reward from the Lord, and that reward constitutes being in the kingdom of heaven, you know, having immortal bodies, you know, having the laws in our inward parts, and not being able to be subject to vanity like we are in these bodies down here on earth. That is the point. You know, so if you got guys that give up, throw in the towel, that really just means they didn't want this bad enough. You know, I mean, ultimately it means that they weren't of the elect. But, you know, the thought process behind a lot of these dudes is that they don't simply have what it takes. You know, when you read Matthew the 13th chapter, it tells you about the seed that falls on some on thorns and some on stony, you know, and some get offended and endureth for a while, you know. This verse 18, it says, and the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds. And he said unto likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid in a napkin. You know, so this guy thought, you know, he would preserve the talent, you know. But if you want to preserve something, you know, doesn't it defeat the purpose of preserving it if you can't multiply it, you know? Preserving one thing is a lot harder than preserving multiple aspects of the same thing, so to speak. You have 1 pound, you lose that 1 pound, you don't have any more money, you know. Now, if you multiply that into 10 pounds, you lose 1 pound, you know, you still have 9 pounds left to work with, you know. So that way you can still keep working, you can still keep trading, you can still keep buying and selling things, you know. You're still in business. It says, for I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. You know, so in this passage, you know, the man feared the Lord because he was afraid of, you know, whether he being afraid of correction, whether being afraid of being chastised or, you know, things like that, you know. But when you bring this up in the modern times, you know, these guys are afraid of not only being chastised and, you know, and things like that, but they're also afraid of the things that are to come, you know. So it's like cognitive dissonance. If they don't speak on it, then it won't happen, You know, oh, if I don't multiply this talent, then I won't have to risk losing the talent. You know, if I don't prophesy about the mark of the beast, then the mark of the beast won't happen. You know, that's the thought process behind a lot of these dudes. It says, thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. So he didn't put any work in. It says, and he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. See, he was being wicked because he didn't do what the Lord told him to do, which was multiply the talent, man. It says, thou knewest that I was an austere man. See, you already knew I was an austere man, so you can't use that as an excuse. It says, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. So not producing and expecting to reap the rewards. It says, wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury. So he didn't trade his money so that way, to make more money or to grow. This is a guy, it symbolizes the guy that didn't grow in the spirit. It says, and he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that hath 10 pounds. So like I said earlier, you only have 1 pound, you don't multiply and you lose that pound, you have nothing left. So the Lord took that pound from him, that blessing that he gave that man, and took it to the man that produced the most. So now guess what? The man that had that 1 pound that didn't multiply, that didn't produce, now that man is without hope. And a lot of these guys are going to be found without hope in these later days. It says, and they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds. For I say unto you, that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. So that's the consequence. You're gonna get the spirit taken away from you, man. That's why when you read Psalm the 51st chapter, King David prayed for the spirit to not be taken away from him, man. It says, but those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. And there's gonna be a lot of death amongst Israel, man, for forsaking Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Let's see here. I believe I had one more. Salakia. Sirach 4. And this is going to be the last scripture here. This is Sirach chapter 4, verse 28. It says, strive for the truth unto death. And this is very self-explanatory. And the Lord shall fight for thee. So we're supposed to strive for the truth of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai until our death, until our dying days, our last breath, right? You got guys talking about they finished their course. Well, wait a minute. When Paul said that, he was about to ready to die. He didn't say that until he was ready to give up the spirit. But you got guys that are alive, ready and able, and supposedly in good health, that talking about they finished their course. If you're tired, just say you're tired. If you don't want to do it no more, you want to go back into the world, just say that. But don't make up excuses and use the scriptures as a front, man. If anything, that's gonna bring you more judgment. It says, be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss. Say what you do and do what you say. This guy claims, oh, he's gonna be out there on highways and byways, but he just won't be on YouTube anymore. Well, we heard that 1,000 times, nigga. These guys most definitely never see these guys again. So I'll read this again. Sirach 4:28 says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So you strive for the Lord will strive for you. That's why scriptures tell you that the Lord is faithful. So with that's the end of the lesson. I want to give all praises, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakadash, Double honors to the apostles and elders, great maelstrom were well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.